Kenny Chesney said it best, don't blink. Because if you blink, you know, you're gonna see your kid grow up like this. You're gonna see your wife, you're gonna disconnect with your wife and not understand that relationship anymore. And honestly, like I said, us entrepreneurs have that mentality that we're just always constantly going, but let's take a step back and enjoy the fruits of our labor when we're at home. And the most important thing, the people that are pushing us up for us to have those fruits of our labor, and that's our family, 100%. Afternoon slot. Let me know. Probably work best around 12 or 12:30 and 1, if anything. It's always afraid to blink because you have no idea, you know. You blink and then 20 years are down the road and you know, maybe you have accomplished your dreams and maybe you got everything you ever wanted, but if you're not enjoying those moments, then what's the point of it? At the end of the day, yes, I could have millions of dollars and be, you know, happy, but at the end of the day, money doesn't make you happy. If they were to strip everything away from you, money, cars, all those sorts of things, if they were to strip everything down from you, what are the only things that you're gonna have? Whether it's your family, a friend, your wife, your son, your daughter, doesn't matter. Those are the people that are always gonna have your back. I hate reviews. I'm sure you guys hate reviews as well. Some of them are good, some of them are just don't make sense, and some of them, okay, I can see how that person can come off from. I had to respond to a review this weekend, and just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph with this lady, and she was just angry. I'm like, okay, I get it, our phones weren't working. She was just, you know, really mad, and you know, I explained to her, I'm like, okay, we had X, Y, and Z. We've been going through so many changes. You know, just, you know, be patient with us. Let me get you a gift card. And she's like, well, I don't want your gift card. I'm like, it's not about that. I'm not saying I'm going to buy you this and that. When it comes to customer service, we don't have the opportunity to make things right. So for example, if a customer comes in for a to-go order, we mess up, they drive 10, 15 minutes down the road, you can't fix it on the spot. And when you're out here on the table, we can fix it on the spot. So long story short, she agreed, she took the review off. And I'm like, what if, you know, and how much effort I just put into that for that hour to make that right? What if, you know, if we put that much effort into our daily lives with our friends and our relationships? Like, what if our friends and our wife and our kids gave us ratings?
What is that?
Smell like food truck.
I am a food truck connoisseur. You know what I mean? Like, what if they were to give us a ratings? Like, you know, oh crap! I forgot to do the things my wife said. She's gonna give me like a 2-star review, 2.5-star review. Forgot to do this, and that. Really irritated. Has already left the seat open so many times. Like toilet seats. Like you start thinking about those things. Like, man, I've really dropped the ball this week on that. Like, and then you kind of reel yourself back, and it's like, okay, if I put this much effort into making a review right on my business, I'm sure I can do anything possible to make my quote-unquote review, hypothetical review, to make it right for my wife, to make it up for her. You know, instead of buying her a gift card, you know, like I would buy this client a gift card. Let me get you some flowers, let me get you something, let me take you out to dinner, let's go on a date night, to make it up and to put that much effort that we put into our business, into our families, into our relationships with friends. What if you were like, you were walking by and like you see somebody and a little bubble pops up, it's like, that's a 3.5-star review person. Like, I don't want to be their friend. You know what I mean? I'm not saying live by the reviews, but it's also, it's a good way for constructive criticism.
Are you able to just kind of shut it off when you enter the house, or does it still take you a second?
Do I ever shut off? Honestly, it's one of those. It's not a switch. It's honestly, I have to say my switch is always broken because it's my phone is constantly always on, especially for my employees, managers, to reviews, to anything. My phone is always going to be on for them. Is there a moment in time where I'm trying to constantly work to shut things off and unplug when I'm with my family? Of course. And honestly, it's one of those things as us entrepreneurs that we really don't focus on that. You know, we tend to focus on what's the next big thing, what's the next big thing, what's the next big thing. But honestly, guys, we got to take a step back, and when we are with our family, unplug. I so specifically remember when we were, you know, super young. There's a place that's still open today, Columbine Steakhouse. My father would be into working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You know, this was like a 24-hour gig, and you know, he was a manager at a restaurant, Las Palmas. And I remember one night, specifically, that he came home, I would say it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and he brought home Columbine Steakhouse. Luis and I were already sleeping. But adamant, my dad came and it's like, hey, you know, I told my mom I brought them some steaks. I brought them these really good steaks, some potatoes, and my mom came and woke us up, and we had dinner with my dad at 9 o'clock at night when he got home and we were already sleeping. You know, it wasn't, you know, this big old beautiful like $100 steak. It was a Columbine Steakhouse.
When I opened number one, the original location, it was hard because I was doing everything by myself. These guys were little. It was just my wife and I. You know, sometimes my wife would not support because I had to work. I'd go in the morning and stay there all night and then come back to night. I never played with these guys, especially with Luis. No, when Danny was starting growing up, I was kidding. Now I say it's time to pull back. We got to spend some more time with our kids. As I say, I never spent time with Luis. Come football games, he
was busy. He was working.
I was working all the time.
Yeah.
I tell them, don't make the same mistakes that I made. You know, like when they're out on the food trucks all the day long, saying you don't need to be here. Get these guys to do it. Go with your sons. Go with your kids. Go with your family, guys.
That point my dad was trying, I think, to give to us was, you know, do everything for your family. You know, try to spend as much time with family. He knew that he wasn't spending as much time with us, but we also knew that he was doing everything for us to enjoy, you know, a good meal like that. And I think that's what's really helped shape me, really shaped Luis into who the person that we are today.
The saying is that you love your grandkids more than your kids. It's not that you love them more, but
you love them more.
No, it's not.
We love them
because
differently.
now we get to spend more time with the grandkids than we did with our kids. No, with our kids, we had to work. We couldn't be with them. And now it's the other way around. Now we have our grandkids. We can spend time with them. We see like little Leo. Now I see Luis. I want to spend more time with him. Little Danny. No, I didn't spend time with Danny. Now I'm going to spend time with my grandson, with my grandson. That's the way. It's not that we love him more. It's not that we think we find more time to spend with them now more than just with our kids. But you know,
give him all the time that
we give him the time that was lost with them. Right,
yeah.
right.
Honestly, I just have the great opportunity, you know, for my wife and my son to be here and to, you know, constantly keep encouraging me by saying, hey, you know, whether it was a good day or a bad day, you know, my wife says, hey, great job and I'm proud of you. You know, whether it's good, bad, ugly, the fact that she's supportive and she's there for me, it's what matters the most at the end of the day. No, how Mallory and I met, you know, it's actually a funny story. She's been going to our restaurant since the moment we opened, the first week we opened.
You know, we were there the day that they opened their doors, and remember the white subway tiles? We would eat there 3 to 4 times a week.
Her and her family, she was an all-time star gymnast, and there's a gymnastics place right in the same exact shopping center as our original location.
We're 2 grade schools apart in age, and so I didn't really know Danny much, and then I was just having dinner with my mom one night at Los Dos, and
she was sitting there and, you know, man, sticker shock, like, wow, who's that person? And Luis, my brother, was like, yeah, it's Mallory Conroy, you remember her, we went to high school together. I'm like, no way. Went up to her table with her mom and her sitting there and like, say, hi, how are you? I'm Danny, good to see you, how you been? Just like super easy and super, you know, confident. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, you know, why don't we go on a coffee? Go get some coffee. Let's talk about the differences between public school and private school.
he wanted to talk about the differences between private and public school coaching, and asked me to coffee. And I was like, that's about the lamest, thing that you could ever come up with, but sure. I said yes. I gave him a chance because I thought it was cool. He waited for me and asked for my number when I know he could have gotten it from whoever he wanted. So, kind of respect right off the beginning for him to wait and ask me personally for my number in front of my mom. Our first date was at Lostos.
Yep.
I
Awesome.
think I picked
I don't have
the
to pay
place.
for it.
Yeah, I think I picked the place. That was the cheapest date, you know, bean burrito and a house margarita. I think
With the
I
best
was.
investment, honestly.
We knew when he was going to get married, and they said, "Dad, you always say that story, Dad." Yeah. But it's true. No, before he was all, when he was coaching, and he wasn't making much money. So when we opened up LDP 3, in Highlands Ranch, I said, "Hey, Dad, now that you want to open up number 3, Luis is going to go there. Can I come over here and work and take Luis's spots?" Yeah, I knew it was coming. Said, because he was thinking of getting married. Said, just need to make a little more money.
I don't think I even specifically remember saying anything to make a little bit more money. I never even said
didn't
that.
say it.
There was murmurs and rumbles, but it was never confirmed.
Like I said, I wanted to come back. I just didn't know when. And when I came back, I wasn't. You didn't put me as a manager. You put me as a bar back right away. I wasn't the top of the cream in this and that. And Lisa and I were again fighting all the time because it was 2 different things. And I was gone for a long time, and then came back, and it was just an interesting process at the beginning. And to see where we are now, it's huge. Yeah, it was hard for at the beginning for Mallory and I to get pregnant, and it was a difficult thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people that go through this, and they tend to sometimes throw in the towel or find different options. And then we were finding different options, and I specifically remember this because it was December 2018, I think December 16th, and she made an appointment for us to go get tested, do some extra testing and things like that for that next week. And I remember December 22nd, we just opened up our new Parker location, and we had a new beer rolling out, so I wanted to go see the process. And I remember I was driving home, and I remember Mallory saying, "Hey, do you want a cup of coffee? I'm gonna grab some coffee, and and see if you want anything from the store." I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm good." Thinking, I'm like, okay, we just opened up this restaurant. Now we're trying to get pregnant. I have this testing that I need to get done. It's just starts accumulating things, and I get home and getting ready. Mallory's downstairs. I can hear her open the garage. She gets home, and I walk downstairs. And funniest thing, because I let her open up a Christmas gift early that year, and there was a bag right on top of the counter, and I'm like, "Oh, cool! You got me a Christmas gift because you let yourself open your Christmas gift." And I started opening up the bag, and it was a little onesie, and I'm like, "What is this?" My heart kind of sank, and then I kept looking through, and then it was the pregnancy test that said positive. And she's like, "We're pregnant." With me, I just specifically know, and I take that to heart, that I'm willing to do anything for my family, and I'm willing to do anything that it takes to make sure my family is okay and they get the things they need and the things they want. It's not about me, and it's not about the paycheck. It's not about the fact that, hey, I get this paycheck, I get this, I get that. It's not about that. At the end of the day, it's about the fact that what you're doing for your family. Because if all that ends up leaving, if all that ends up falling and crumbling down, the people that are still going to have your back is your family. And that if you end up forgetting about them, it's simple, they're going to end up forgetting about you. 2021, one second, she's FaceTime, Mallory's FaceTime. Hey, don't cry, it's okay. Danny. Thanks, buddy. Okay, bye, love you.
He works so hard to take care of everybody and everything that he does. The way he communicates, the way he talks, the way he presents himself and holds himself. And, he's just such a good person. I think just the way he takes care of us, he always makes sure that we're a priority. And to me, that's huge.
I'm so blessed and so honored to have this person be my cornerstone. Whether I'm up or down, she's always going to be there. Whether I fail or succeed, she's always going to be there. She's my cheerleader. And honestly, I couldn't do and wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing currently today if it wasn't for a supportive, loving wife like her.
Let the games begin. Anticipating the main event. The crowd get silent, lights get dim, and the show don't start until I step in. I display so proper, crowd and show rocker. What I got on my swing, on my drink, and the glow trotter. Others cool compared to me, they know nada. Shut them down quick, the showstopper. Warm it up.
But it's a fun ride. Honestly, that's what I guess makes marriage and fatherhood and motherhood exciting, because we don't have a plan all the time, but that's what writes our book and writes our story.
Going up, hey, going up. Break it down.